In this lesson, we'll cover duct fittings and duct accessories. So you may ask, well, what is a duct fitting and what is a duct accessory? If you look at the example I have on my screen of my duct system, I have a main duct line segment and two branches coming out at the very bottom. The two branches have diffusers on the end of them, but the main trunk of the duct system coming down has an open end, and I really need to cap that off. So I would want to place an end cap on that main trunk. That end cap is an example of a duct fitting. What is a duct accessory? Well, maybe I need to place a damper or a filter inside of my duct system. A filter or a damper is an example of a duct accessory. Both duct fittings and duct accessories can be placed inside of your HVAC duct systems from the System tab inside of Revit. So let's go to the Systems tab. On the Systems tab, in the actual HVAC panel on the left, you have two icons. One, duct fittings, and the icon below duct fittings, duct accessories. Let's place that end cap first for the duct fitting. So go ahead and choose duct fitting. Now, just like any other component, you have the properties area on the left where you can choose which element you would like to actually load in or work with in this Revit model. If the element didn't exist, you could always load the family in of a new component to use. For this example, though, we're going to use the rectangular duct end cap standard. So as I move my mouse around the screen, I can see I'm holding that end cap, but I really need to place it on the bottom of the run of the actual trunk. And you can see it's not aligned. Well, don't worry, it will align itself when you move it into its final position. So I'm going to move my mouse holding the end cap over the end of the run of the duct. And once I move into that area where it needs to be placed, you'll actually see that ductwork align, or in this case, the end cap align with the ductwork. And I'm going to snap it to the end point. So when it aligns itself, just zoom in or zoom out. When you see it aligned, go ahead and left click. This now adheres that end cap to the end of that duct segment in my duct system. Now again, I can keep going and placing additional end caps, but I'm finished for this example. So click Modify in the upper left. Now the next example is to place a duct accessory. And maybe in this example, what I would like to actually place is a balancing damper inside of my duct system. So let's go to the duct accessory command. Again, on the Systems tab in the HVAC panel, click on Duct Accessory. Now, if you don't have any accessories loaded, or for that matter, any other thing you place if it's not loaded, Revit will ask you, well, do you want to load something, or do you just want to exit the command by clicking No? Well, yes, we need to load an accessory to place inside of this model, so click Yes. Now, if your system already has the accessory loaded, you won't see this screen. You'll just go to place that accessory. But since we have to load an accessory, let's go to the duct folder, double-click it, then go to the accessories folder, double-click it, dampers, double-click it, and then the one we want in this example will be the first one, the balancing damper rectangular, since our duct work is actually rectangular in shape. Click Open. Now, when I open this, it actually loads it into my current Revit project. I see the properties for this component in the properties area, and I'm now holding it ready to place inside of my duct work. I'm just going to move my mouse over top of my actual duct run, and I can move my mouse vertically up and down, but I want it aligned to the actual center line or reference line inside of my duct work. And then I'm just going to use the nearest snap. So just left click, and that will place, in this case, that balancing damper inside of my Revit duct system. And again, I can continue on to place additional ones if I wanted to, but for this example, I'm done again. So just click Modify in the upper left. Now, any of these elements can be deleted, removed, and modified. Simply just by clicking on each one, you can edit, change it, or move it, again, using the actual control points, and place it in a different location inside of my duct system. So as a review in this lesson, we looked at duct fittings and duct accessories. We talked about what a duct fitting is and what a duct accessory is. Fitting being an end cap, for example, and a filter or damper being an accessory. We then looked at how to place each one, placing the duct end caps, which is an example of the fitting, on the end of a duct run, and then loading in the actual damper as an example of the duct accessory, and then placing it inside of our Revit duct system.